Personal watercraft are small vessels, usually under 12 feet in length, where the user sits on the vessel rather than in the vessel. Personal watercraft, which we will refer to as PWC, were first used in the late 1960s, but now, because of their popularity, they are used on almost every water body in America. Today's lecture will include details about jet and water propulsion and how you can educate yourself in the science of boating.
No doubt about it, personal watercraft are the hottest trend in boating these days. Hi, I'm Jennifer Renner. There's nothing quite like a day on the water. Grab a few friends, get the PWCs in the water, slap on the tanning oil, and hey, it's fun in the sun and let the good times flow. Because personal watercraft have become so popular, the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers wants to be sure that you know how to safely operate them on our lakes, rivers, and oceans. We don't want to see any of you getting injured or even killed because you or somebody else was riding out of control, especially for those of you who may be riding for the first time. So stay with us and take a few minutes to check this out. Because remember, it's real important that you ride safe, ride smart. If you're an owner of one of these, or if you're riding one of your friend's machines, guess what, sports fans? You've just become a new member of our boating community. That's right, personal watercraft are defined as motorboats. That means that you must know and abide by the same operation and equipment laws as other boaters. The popularity of the personal watercraft has absolutely exploded. That's the upside. The downside is the number of accidents involving PWCs has also exploded. Approximately 40% of all boating accidents involve PWC. Why so many accidents? Well, we have our theories, but it still made us wonder. What do people really know about operating their PWC on our waterways? We decided to take our cameras out and about for a little pop quiz.
Life preserver.
You need a fire extinguisher.
What do you know about registration?
Nothing really.
I know we have a tow rope. We have our red flag.
You have to have a fire extinguisher. Any rider has to have his life jacket on.
You have to have registration on your boat.
We know we have to have a life jacket, and that's pretty much all I know because it's our first day.
You can't be operating the vehicle drunk. Safety feature.
What else do you have to have?
How old do you need to be to ride?
Like 12, 16, 18.
As you can tell, everyone has their own interpretation of the law. That's why we called in our own experts to set the story straight.
I've noticed there seems to be some confusion over what's legal and what's not legal out here on the water. Some of these personal watercraft can go over 60 miles an hour. For many of these people, it's their first time on one of these powerful boats. Most of them have had no training, nor have they taken the time to know the rules and regulations. So since we've got the camera rolling, I'd like to take just a few minutes to go over some of the things you may need to know to be a safe boater. First things first, let's get something straight. I am not the enemy. My job is to make sure that no one is hurt or killed out on the water. How do I do that? I enforce the rules. I may be your best friend when I'm patching up your injuries, and maybe not when I'm writing you a citation. Okay, just sign in the red box right there. Personally, I'd rather write you a ticket than to see you get hurt and have to pack you away in an ambulance. That's why I enforce the law. Unfortunately, there's always a few riders out there who live by their own set of rules. These are the ones that are going to spoil a good day for the rest of us. They're the people that are going to hurt themselves or someone else if I don't get to them first, and that's definitely not cool. Okay, now we've got that cleared up, let's talk safety. I'm going to break it down into two sections, so listen up. The law states that every person on a boat must have a U.S. Coast Guard approved life jacket on board. Wear it. 85% of the people who die in boating accidents would have survived had they been wearing their life jackets. Each vessel is required to have a fire extinguisher. Make sure it's Coast Guard approved and fully charged. Your registration numbers must be on a permanent section of the forward portion of your boat and clearly visible. Placing the numbers on the handle pole or engine cover won't cut it. Make sure your registration paperwork is on board and in a watertight container. Remember that your boat must meet the noise requirements, and if you've altered your muffler system in any way, you may be in violation. It's also a good idea to have a whistle on board. I attach mine to my life jacket in case I fall overboard and need to call for help. So now let's talk about booze and boats. Despite popular beliefs, water and alcohol don't mix. In most states, the legal limit is 0.08% blood alcohol for operating a boat. This is the same limit for driving a car. You can't drive a car when you're intoxicated. The same rules apply when you're on the water. You can't drive a boat drunk. Speed. Most of the tickets I write are for speeding. You cannot exceed 5 miles per hour whenever you're within 100 feet of a swimmer, or anytime you're within 200 feet of a swimming beach, launch ramp, marina, diving platform, or swimming float. So how do you know if you're going over 5 miles an hour? Let me show you. If your wake has any white water forming on the top, you're going over 5 miles per hour. For most boats, it's idle speed. That means no throttle. Wake jumping may look like fun, but it can be very dangerous. Wake jumping alone accounts for 15% of all personal watercraft accidents. If you are operating a PWC in a reckless and negligent manner that may endanger life or property, you will be cited. An example of reckless operation is when you lose control of your craft or have caused someone else to lose control of theirs. Another cause of accidents on the water is the spray down. I can't tell you how many times I've seen people run their friends over because they lost control of their vessel at the last second. Believe me, it's not a pretty sight. One thing we need to talk about is right-of-way. Most people don't have a clue as to what right-of-way means. It means you must yield to any boat coming at you from dead ahead to as far as you can see over your right shoulder. That's considered your red zone. In the red zone, you should slow or allow other boats to proceed around you to prevent a possible collision. When you're on the water doing maneuvers, your right-of-way, or red zone, is constantly changing. Be aware of all the other vessels near you all the time. Also know what to do when you meet another vessel head-on. When two vessels meet head-on, neither has the right-of-way. Both vessels should alter their courses to the right. Always exercise caution when passing another boat. The vessel that's being overtaken should hold its course and speed while it's being passed. And finally, let's talk about age. How old do you have to be to drive one of these things? Well, that really depends on what state you're going to be riding in. So be sure and check with the local authorities to find out what the age restrictions are in your area. The Personal Watercraft Industry Association recommends a minimum operating age of 16, unless you're accompanied by an adult. So there you have it, the rules of the waterways. Remember, ride by the rules and stay in control. And hey, if you're going to loan your boat to your friends, make sure they know about the rules too. That way we can all have a safe day on the water.
Hey, that's some pretty good advice from the man in the know. Actually, another piece of advice is to take a boating safety course. You know what? There's all kinds of them offered. There's even one you can take from your own home. Oh, and that reminds me. Come closer. I heard that if you take one of these boating safety courses, you may be eligible for a reduction in your insurance premium. Did you know that nearly 1/2 of all boating injury accidents involve personal watercraft? Nearly 1/2. Now that's way out of line. Accidents happen all the time. Our camera crew even captured the aftermath of this collision on video. Two groups of kids with limited experience operating these powerful machines crash into each other. They're lucky this time. No broken bones and no injuries. However, we did have to tow one craft to shore before it sank to the bottom of the lake. Even one injury is one too many. So why are so many people getting hurt? To find those answers, we're traveling to Southern California. So fasten those seatbelts because we're headed to Mission Bay, San Diego.
My name is Allison Terry. I've been a lifeguard for 5 years, so I can tell you from experience that operator inattention is the main cause of accidents involving PWC. There are many people on our waterways with limited experience, and because they're so new to the sport, they're concentrating on how to operate their craft instead of watching where they're going, or they're just too busy showing off rather than watching out for other boats. It's officially known as failing to maintain a proper lookout. Translation, they're not paying attention to where they're going. The most common type of PWC accident is a collision with another boat, and most of the time the other boat's a PWC too. Many accidents result from performing radical maneuvers. So let me give you a few safety tips that'll keep you out of trouble. Number 1, pay attention to where you're going. You're out there to have fun, but be smart. Maintain a proper lookout at all times. Look ahead and side to side as you're maneuvering your craft. Don't get surprised by another vessel coming too close. You may not have enough time to avoid a collision. And number 2, don't follow your friends too closely. You never know when they might make a quick turn. If you're following too closely, you may not be able to avoid crashing into your friend. Maintain a safe distance from other personal watercraft at all times. And number 3, always keep a 360-degree awareness of all nearby and approaching traffic on the water. This means not only knowing where all approaching boats are coming from in all directions, but also having a plan for avoiding trouble. Leave yourself a way out. Number 4, if you're planning to ride, leave the alcohol behind. It won't make you a better rider. In fact, studies show it will do just the opposite, but it will make you an accident waiting to happen. Drinking and boating don't mix. Remember these safety tips every time you operate your craft. They just might save your life and the lives of others. Stay alert and ride in control.
Allison is right. Stay in control, because remember, it's your body versus a fiberglass hull traveling 40 to 60 miles an hour. You can probably guess who's going to lose that one. And finally, let's talk about learning to operate a PWC and recommended equipment. Take the time to familiarize yourself with your vessel before taking it out the first time. Don't expect to take it from the showroom floor to the water and become an instant expert. Read the owner's manual and all warning labels for your safety. Have the dealer explain each function for proper operation. Also, make sure you understand how the engine works and what makes the vessel move. First, secure the lanyard to your wrist and pull it tightly so it won't fall off. Next, connect the lanyard to the vessel so if you fall off, the engine will stop. Remember, if you back off the throttle, you won't be able to steer your PWC. Be sure to practice starting and stopping the engine safely. Know how to retrieve your PWC after taking a fall. Learn how to flip your PWC right side up and how to get back on. The right way is from the back of the vessel. Always follow the manufacturer's instructions, which are usually printed on the back of the vessel. We also recommend wearing protective eyewear to protect your eyes from water spray and other objects. Gloves provide improved grip and comfort. Deck or tennis shoes or neoprene booties will stay on in rough water. They protect your feet from underwater hazards and offer good traction to prevent loss of footing. A wetsuit is highly recommended for protection against sun, wind abrasion, injury, hypothermia, and as additional flotation. You know what? I know that if you keep these tips in mind, you'll have a lot more fun on the water and you'll be much safer. Before we wrap up, let me say that some local agencies are closing their waterways to PWC because of conflicts with other waterway activities and because of noise problems. Let me say that noise is a huge complaint. Just imagine if you were on the shore relaxing. You'd probably appreciate some peace and quiet. Well, so does everyone else. So be courteous to other boaters and to those on shore. Leave a good impression when you ride, because everyone has the right to enjoy the water as much as you. So let's all work together to reduce the number of accidents. It's up to us to abide by the rules and to make sure that we all ride under control so that everyone using our waterways has a safe and enjoyable day. So maintain a proper lookout at all times. Stay in control, and remember, ride safe, ride smart. Ready?
Let's go.